Welcome, ambitious professionals. I am Teegan. Bartos, you know the routine. If you watch my lives frequently, go ahead and drop who you are and where you're tuning in from in the comments. And if you're catching this on replay, drop the hashtag replay. Today, for the third week in a row, I continue to have problems with this platform, which is making me consider switching from Restream back to StreamYard. But we'll see what happens there. Maybe I can touch base with some other streamers and see what the heck is going on, because I go on other people's live streams all the time and don't seem to have these problems. So, okay, today I am going to be talking about a really fun topic, and it's about finding joy at work. Something that sounds absolutely crazy to the majority of people I've ever worked with, but something me and my special guests have found ourselves. And so because we're having some technical issues, which is no worries, just like in any interview process or anything else in life, we're just going to go with the flow. So I've got Meg here, Meg on speakerphone. So Meg, welcome.
Good morning. How are you, Teegan?
I am good. I think I might be doing a little bit better than you. You've got construction going on in the office.
It's very exciting, like everybody else who's been working from home the last 2 years. We've got some upgrades going on, so I'm going to have the most amazing office with a full kitchen and a full bathroom. And then the other thing was I was at my industry conference last week. You can imagine 500 of my best friends all getting together. And of course, there was COVID in the room.
Okay.
So I am exercising caution today and working from my home office so that the construction people can do their job and I can be with you.
Very nice. Well, I'm sure they appreciate that, because we just recently had a bug run through our house. It wasn't COVID. We were all tested 3 different times. But nonetheless, it's never fun to be sick. And it's really, really difficult. It's stressful, right? So this ties in actually perfectly with the conversation that we're having today, because my best friend just had a stroke, and we're in our late 30s, and it's not something you expect at this age, and now she's got to learn how to talk, and has to get her memory back, and all of these things, and it kind of was like, wow, she's lucky to be alive, and so I'm grateful for that, and it was so nice to hear her voice, and it just got me thinking, like, I don't ever want anybody to be in a position where one thing could happen and then they have no way to support themselves. So it ties in great with diversifying our revenue streams today, because we want to make sure that our audiences and the people that we care about can live the type of life that they want without having to have so much stress of, I can't take a vacation because then money won't come in, or if something happens and I lose my job, then what? And just, working to death because they're so scared of maybe what might happen. So, going to be keeping you in my prayers, Crystal. I love you so much. And Meg, thank you for joining me. So I know your background, but for those tuning in who do not, can you go ahead and share a little bit about your background?
I would be glad to. So my name is Meg Schmitz, and I have been in the world of franchising for 30 years now. The Wall Street Journal some time ago called me a franchise guru, and also, incidentally, at my conference last week, I'm retaining the title of the franchise fashionista. So if you've ever seen me live and in person, you will know that I am indeed a franchise fashionista.
Love it.
I got started franchising when I was a ripe old 30 years old, and that was with Great Clips. I ended up opening 5 salons over 11 or 12 years. Someone made me an offer I could not refuse, so I sold my salons. During the years that I was with Great Clips, I was the co-op president in the Chicago market, so it gave me a really great interaction with the corporate team, with the franchise development team, and with my fellow franchise owners in the city of Chicago. Well, actually, all over the United States, because then as co-op president, I interacted with all of the co-op presidents from around the country. And so when I sold my salons, I jumped over to the business consulting side. So I work with mature and emerging and startup brands that are looking for franchise owners who would be the right kind of owner to advance their particular brand. So somebody who might be interested in Krispy Kreme would not be the same type of owner who would be interested in a Molly Maid or an Ace Handyman services. So my role really is a matchmaker. I help to bring both sides together, and it's actually a lot like what you do. It's strategy, it's coaching, it's helping people who think they would like to own their own business identify, is it franchise or is it independent, because I can help with both, and then helping them to take the leap into the right kind of opportunity that will help them either diversify their portfolio, which is what we're going to be talking about, or for some people it's realizing they want to leave the corporate job behind, take control full-time of their future, and find that business ownership opportunity that will give them that diversification and that flexibility and freedom.
Yes, I love that. And I was so glad that Chad introduced us together because a few years back, my husband inherited real estate, and it kind of changed the trajectory of where we were going with certain financial decisions. And so, you know, we renovated a couple of properties, sold a couple of properties, you know, divvied things up between, you know, different people that needed it. And it's amazing because it was a lot of fun. And when I speak to some of my girlfriends about it, they'll say, wow, Teegan, I can't imagine just, you know, going and giving $34,000 or $57,000 or whatever, a check-in at a time to make this type of investment. And I say, yeah, but that 34 grand just turned into 100 grand in a couple of months. And so there's risk involved, but it was something that it was like, okay, well, I still have other revenues coming in. So even if this flops, what's the worst that's going to happen? I lose a little bit of money, but learn a lot in the process. And so I like that there's people like you out there who actually can help people in making these decisions. At the time when Chad introduced us to each other, my friend was also selling his, his franchisees for Jimmy John's. And so it was really interesting. And now he's back in the corporate world. He's an executive in banking. And he's like, why did I do that? Why did I go back to this? Yeah. And so it's interesting, you know, the different perspectives and the different experiences that I have and that you have. So I look forward to our conversation today.
Well, and so the interesting thing about that favor mentality versus the abundance mentality, we were talking at my conference last week. If someone gave you $100,000, what would you do with it? And the savers are like, well, I would put it into an investment account and hope that, you know, the market would take it and make it grow. Then there are the others who are more take control of your future, who are saying, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to, like you did, I'm going to find opportunities that are smart opportunities. Because let's face it, you can't just blindly put $100,000 or $10,000 into something.
Yep.
You ought to be doing your homework and figuring out with someone like Teegan or someone like me who are career savvy and understand the industry, how to make a good decision. So whether it's real estate or a business or whatever that investment in yourself might be, make it a smart investment by doing your research, do your homework, and then verify that this is a good opportunity by talking to other people who have done it, and you can learn what mistakes to avoid, recreate the wheel, understand what mistakes to avoid, and adopt best practices, and you're going to launch so much faster than if you try to do it in a void.
Yes, absolutely. So somebody's saying volume, FYI. So I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but here, let me go on. Let me go on LinkedIn and try, because I've got this it all the way up to the speaker. So
Me too.
you know, and I hope everybody can just hear what you said, because you just gave a fantastic point, and it's looking like my internet bandwidth is low too, which is one of the downfalls of working from home. Is even though I have business internet, it has been going so slow. We have been having so many outages in the Chicagoland area, and I guess it's total first world problems, right? But man, it sure does making business a little bit more complicated. Okay, so it's not letting me go on at all. Well, whatever. We're gonna keep going, and hopefully everybody can hear. So let me double check.
We could always do this all over again, Teegan. There's so much good content to talk about.
You know what? That's a great idea. Why don't we, since this is not working, why don't we go ahead and reschedule for a future date when you can be back in the office? And let me just try one more thing.
Sure.
Let's see.
It's such an exciting topic.
I know. Okay. Oh, you know what? It's working. Okay. I just went on my phone to look at my LinkedIn to double check. Okay. So what Meg was just saying, I'm going to just recap, is that if you are going to make an investment, and if you say you were at her conference, $100,000, what are you going to do? Are you going to save it? What are you going to do with it? And so some people are savers and are going to hope that, they get some money back if they invested in the market, or maybe even just put it in a savings account where you're not really going to get anything, but at least it's liquid, it's there, it's safe. And some people are going to do their due diligence to find an opportunity that they can invest in where they can get more ROI on their investment. And so, I fortunately have a higher tolerance to risk, because in my mindset, I know what it's like not to have anything, and it sucks, but I can get myself out of it. And so I want to be a little bit riskier when I have, in my mind, a little bit more time to recover from something negative that happens, and make an educated decision where to place my money and how to watch it grow quickly. But so often, Meg, my friends, especially my girlfriends, are like, it's so overwhelming. I don't even know where to begin. And so many of my male friends are like, oh yeah, I'm diversified. I've got stock here and, this account here. And it's like, that's not necessarily what all of what we're talking about. So Meg, tell me, what would you say to where to even begin when someone says, diversifying my revenue is overwhelming? WTF, Meg, help a girl out.
So this is such a relevant topic for me in my upbringing. My mother was an entrepreneur. She's still alive. Very entrepreneurial, but in a safe way. And what I mean by that is that she's a nurse. She was attracted to the hospice movement, and in the Chicago area, aligned with 11 other people who were like-minded to start a hospice that is now one of the largest in the Midwest.
Nice.
So I grew up with two medical professionals who are, my dad had a practice, my mom was a nurse. But my mom was a little bit entrepreneurial. And so I grew up watching my mom say, oh, the bank account, oh, balancing the checkbook, I'll let your father do that. Well, to me, there's this element in women, because we wear a lot of hats, we spin a lot of plates, where we have a high expectation, I think, a lot of ourselves, and what we're going to, who are we going to impact, our husbands, our children, whatever your lifestyle is, women tend to be very hard on themselves and less risk tolerant. They like safety, they like guidelines, they like recipes, they like a playbook. And that's where owning a franchise is really such a smart investment if you invest in the right one. Because it is a recipe, it is a playbook, there's an operations manual, there are other people who are doing the same thing you're doing, who've done it before you, who you can talk to find out, hey, I think I'd like to own a business. How did it work out for you? Was it a good investment for you? Or would you do it over again? So, working just like with you, work with a good coach, work with somebody who's got a good strategy for gathering the right information. And that's what takes the fear out of it. Let's face it, this is a scary environment for the last couple of years. I can't tell you how many people have said, oh, I was the bullet on that one. I'm so glad I didn't get in. I'm like, no. The last couple of years have been phenomenal in franchising because we've got structure, we've got rigor, and we've got people who know to see around the corner, what the pandemic is going to bring. But I've got more companies in my portfolio who succeeded, and franchisees I have placed who are making a lot of money. And by the way, if you women are curious, a lot of those placements are women who made a good investment, they're getting a great return on their investment, even in a pandemic. So that's the safety feature in eliminating fear and doubt is to work with a good coach and mentor who can help you collect the right information.
I think that's great advice. Obviously, I'm biased being a coach, but the same advice you give to people who are interested in getting into a franchisee is the same advice I give to a job seeker looking to level up in corporate. Do your research. Don't reinvent the wheel. Talk to people who are in this position or in this company. Learn the pitfalls. Learn the joys. Learn exactly what's going to happen as you're walking into it. So, for those people, go ahead.
There's one thing I would say about the corporate job search versus franchise job ownership research. If corporate America had to be as transparent as franchise companies have to be about their culture, the financial investment, the potential return on that investment, the Federal Trade Commission governs my industry. Can you imagine if United Airlines were transparent about the culture of each of their departments? Who is the leadership? What are the skeletons in the closet? We have to divulge that.
Yeah, no one would want to work in corporate.
You could find all of this out ahead of time. Who's going to trip you on your way to the water cooler? Maybe you wouldn't take that job.
Yep.
In franchising, we must disclose culture, leadership, financials, all sorts of the inner gooey workings, so that before you make that investment, it is so transparent and obvious for you to be able to say, no, this is not the right fit, or yes, please, where can I sign up?
Yep.
But understand this is a mutual due diligence process. Both sides need to be in agreement that it's the right alignment, similar to corporate job search, but a little bit different.
Yes. Yeah. That transparency is fantastic because so many people who are risk averse still want to have an opportunity, but are risk averse, maybe have some extra money, maybe inherited something, maybe, cashed out on some stocks or whatever it may be, to where they're saying, okay, I want to have this, I want to expand my portfolio and get into something else. But they don't want to leave corporate. I mean, I have so many clients who love their corporate job, but still have something on the side that they love to do. And, they're kind of hands off, or some are more hands on than others. And so is that really an option for people in the franchise business?
The answer resoundingly is yes.
Okay.
My conference last week, I can't tell you how many companies, because of the pandemic, look at the productivity of responsible employees working from home. They're choosing their hours maybe with more flexibility than having to go to the office. So a lot of these companies were saying, wait a minute, figuring out their productivity in a pandemic. Why don't we modify our business models so that they can keep their career? Let's face it, if you're making 6 figures, and I don't care what that first number starts with, a 1 or a 5 or a 7 or whatever. I'm working with people right now who are making 7 figures. Don't leave the comfort, perceived comfort, as long as you're getting that paycheck. The answer is yes to you. There's so many franchise companies that have retooled their value proposition so that there's technology in play, or maybe they figured out the margin so that you can hire an ops manager or an office manager in your place. Why not pay somebody 5 figures per year when you're making 6 figures per year to run your diversification strategy? Now you're getting owner benefits and the profitability of the business, and there are tax benefits and all sorts of other things that you get alongside of getting your paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had this question be asked a lot because my husband works full time. He's an executive recruiter, and he still, has these rental properties on the side, and it's not, your niche when it comes to the franchises, but it still requires work. And just like you said, you can hire an operations manager, a project manager, whatever it may be to help you lead the business, but you can still benefit from it, and you can get a much greater return compared, to other areas. And so it's really neat. And so I'm let's see. It looks like people are having a hard time hearing you through the phone. So I'll go ahead and cut this early. And then Meg, maybe this summer we can come back, do something again where StreamYard's working or Restream is working.
That will be done. We can move to my real Zoom office and the technology that's there. There's so much good stuff here. The diversification with the real estate and hiring other people and to step in. Well, I got started when I was 30. I'm 58 now. My husband and I have about 80 different investments, and that didn't all come at once. So you build a plan, work the plan, and someday you get the financial stability that gives you that peace of mind. And I know you and your husband are benefiting from it. So
yeah,
figure out a time to regroup on this, and we'll dive right back in.
Yes. And so for everybody who tuned in and was trying to watch it and figure out, even with the low bandwidth, with the internet issues, with the visibility issues, it's just something's going on with Restreaming, trying to stream. And so I will send in a ticket to help us troubleshoot that. I'm plugged into an Ethernet cord, so that shouldn't be the problem. And so we'll get this figured out. Eventually, my live streams will go smoothly again, and I will have Meg back on so we can further talk about really how you can find joy. The main point of today, for those of you who couldn't hear what Meg was talking about, is that you do have the ability to work for joy. If you want to stay in corporate, stay in corporate. If you want to diversify your portfolio, your revenue streams, then there's more options than just stocks, that are sometimes a little scary to think about. More options than, your 401k plan or your pension program, or, whatever it is that you're currently doing. There are options out there in a lot of different ways based on your risk level and the amount of time that you want to invest in it to have opportunities to give us a little bit more financial stability. And so this obviously applies to both men and women, but I'm going to talk to my ladies here for a second. No offense, fellas, but ladies, we deserve to live the life we want to live. And we deserve to be able to retire at an age where we can do the things we want to do. But more so, we deserve to be able to do the things we want to do before we retire. That might be paying for piano lessons for our kid, or going on, a cultural vacation where we learn the language and eat the food with the people. Whatever it may be for you, that lifestyle that you want, there's ways to get it. And it starts with opening up yourself to exploring some avenues that maybe you hadn't thought of. 10 years ago, I would have never thought of being a business owner. And then one day it was like, I'm going to be a business owner, and dived into it. And so if you take anything away from today, I hope that you take away that there is help out there. And so you can talk to entrepreneurial coaches, franchise coaches like Meg. There's so many different programs that you can join, so that way you can take away some of the pain that I experienced diving in, and get educated and have support and have a community of like-minded people around you, so you can reach your goals faster, because that's all that I am about. I want everyone that I am around to be personally fulfilled, financially stable, and professionally successful, whatever that means to you. So thank you for tuning in. I will be back next Tuesday, either on this platform or another platform, so we can make sure these streams happen quickly. And Meg, huge shout out for you for being a trooper, staying on speakerphone since Restream wasn't letting you in. So for those of you tuning in, I appreciate you, and see you next